Hello everyone, thank you for joining me. I'm Kerry. Today I'll be decorating the cockatiel branch I worked recently with some wattle and some gum nuts. I'll also decorate a branch with the possum. You could also decorate the branches for the cockatoo I worked and a king parrot I worked quite a long time ago. Now I didn't do a large one this time. The medium one is worked in 4-ply crochet cotton and a 1.5mm hook. It's 12 centimetres wide by 13.5 centimetres, or 4 3/4 inches wide by 5 1/4 inches. And the small branches worked in 2-ply crochet cotton and a 1mm hook are 7 centimetres wide by 11 centimetres, or 2 3/4 inches wide by 4 1/4 inches, and the possum is wider than it is high. I'll be using Catona cotton, so the size will be a bit bigger than the medium one. I'll tell you the size at the end of the video. I'll be using Catona cotton. I've got 254 Moon Rock, 114 Shocking Pink, 244 Spruce and 208 Yellow Gold. I've got my cockatiel applique and I've got a possum applique. I've got a needle to weave in the ends and stitch it together. I've got a 2.5mm crochet hook and scissors. I will need a bit of sewing thread to stitch the possum to the branch as well. For most of them I'll be using the ends of the crochet ring to stitch them to the branch. Now I'm going to start on the branch with the gum nuts and the possum. I'll start on the branch. I've got my 254, the Moon Rock, and we start with 37 chain. Now that's the 37 chain. We miss the first 2 chain and work 1 double crochet into each of the next 2 chain. A double crochet is a treble using UK terms. For a double crochet we put the yarn around the hook, hook into the stitch, the second from the hook, and bring up a loop, yarn around the hook, take the hook with the yarn at the end through 2 loops, yarn around the hook, hook with the yarn at the end through 2 loops. We need 1 double crochet in the next chain as well. Then we work 1 half double crochet into each of the following 2 chain. A half double crochet is a half treble using UK terms. For a half double crochet we put the yarn around the hook, hook into the next stitch and bring up a loop, yarn around the hook and take the hook with the yarn at the end through all the loops. And we need 1 half double crochet into the next chain as well. Then we're going to work 1 single crochet into each of the next 3 chain. A single crochet is a double crochet using UK terms. For a single crochet we put our hook into the stitch and bring up a loop, yarn around the hook and take the hook with the yarn at the end through both loops. And a single crochet into each of the next 2 chain as well. Then 1 half double crochet into the next chain and 1 double crochet into the following chain. That's a treble using UK terms. Then either work 2 chain or 3 chain really tightly. and we slip stitch into the same stitch as our last double crochet. So put your hook into the stitch and bring through a loop and take it straight through the loop on the hook. That just makes a little bend for the branch to go off. Then we work a single crochet into the next chain, and then 1 half double crochet into each of the following 6 chain. One single crochet into each of the next 2 chain, and 2 single crochet into the following chain. Then 1 single crochet into each of the next 5 chain. Two single crochet into the following chain, and then 1 slip stitch into each remaining chain. And fasten off. And that's the branch done. Now for the open gumnut blossoms, I've got my 208, the yellow gold, for the centre, and we make a magic loop. There's lots of ways to make a magic loop, so make it how you feel most comfortable. I just put my hook on the yarn, bring the short end over the hook and then the long end over the short end to make a circle. Then put the yarn around my hook and bring my hook with the yarn at the end through the circle, and that's my magic loop. We start with 1 chain and work 3 single crochet into our circle. We pull our circle tight, so we take hold of this tail and just ease it in, and we slip stitch in the top of the first stitch, so not the chain, just the top of the stitch there, the first single crochet, and we fasten off. And that's the centre of the circle. I'll just weave in these ends to make it easier for you to see when I'm doing the outside. That's the first of the centres for the gumnut blossoms. I have 6 on this, and I also have 6 for the cockatiel, but I'll only work 1 on camera. Now for the outside we work 9 little petals around our 3 stitches. I've got my 114, the shocking pink, and I join in any stitch. I'll be joining in just the outside loop, just to make it a bit easier, and that makes them sit up better too. Now each of the petals is going to be 2 chain and slip stitch in the second chain from the hook. They're quite fiddly, and then we slip stitch in the same place as our join, and we're going to work another one in there, 2 chain, slip stitch in the second chain from the hook, and slip stitch into that same stitch, and then work 2 chain, slip stitch in the second chain from the hook, and then slip stitch into the next stitch, and work 2 chain, slip stitch into the second chain from the hook, and slip stitch into that same stitch again, and we'll work another one in there, 2 chain, slip stitch in the second chain from the hook, and then slip stitch into that same stitch, and then work 2 chain, slip stitch into the second chain from the hook, and slip stitch into the last stitch, and we'll work 2 more in there, 2 chain, slip stitch into the second chain from the hook, and slip stitch into the same stitch, and work 2 chain, slip stitch into the second chain from the hook, and slip stitch into the same stitch, and then work 2 chain, slip stitch into the second chain from the hook, and then slip stitch into the base of the first petal, and then fasten off. And the little petals stick up, bring them up a bit like that. So that's what the gumnut blossom will look like. Now for these gumnuts that aren't open properly, I've got 6 on the branch with the possum, but I've only got 3 on the branch with the cockatiel. Now we'll start on the stems. Now for some I work 6 chain, and for some I work 7 chain. Normally the ones at the side are 6, and then I work one with 7 for the middle one. Now I've got my 254, the moon rock, and I'm going to leave a bit of a tail at the beginning, and I'll use that to stitch it to the branch. So I'll start with 7 chain, and then we work 2 half double crochet into the 3rd chain from the hook, and fasten off. And that's the beginning of the gumnut, and I'll work one with 6. I leave a longer tail and work 6 chain, and work 2 half double crochet in the third chain from the hook. And fasten off. And I'll work the other 4 of these off camera. Now for the top part, I join my 114, the shocking pink, just in the top of the chain there. I work 1 chain and work 1 single crochet in the same stitch as the join, and then 1 chain and 1 single crochet into the next stitch, one chain, a single crochet into that same stitch, and then 1 chain and 1 single crochet into the last stitch, and fasten off. And that's the first one done. And for the second one we just work it the same. We join in the top of the chain, and work 1 chain and 1 single crochet in the top of the chain as well, and then 1 chain and a single crochet into the next stitch. It can be a bit hard to get into, it's so close to the chain. And then 1 chain and a single crochet into that same stitch, and then 1 chain and a single crochet into the last stitch, and fasten off. And that's another one done. Now for the leaves, I've got 6 on the one with the possum, but I've only got 4 on the one with the cockatiel. I'll only work 1 on camera. I'm using my 244, the spruce, and I leave a long tail to attach it to the branch, and we start with 8 chain. We work 1 single crochet in the second chain from the hook, 1 half double crochet into the next chain, into the following chain we work 1 half double crochet and 1 double crochet. So 1 half double crochet and 1 double crochet. That's a treble using UK terms. A single crochet into the next chain and slip stitch into the following chain, and fasten off. And that's the leaf done. I'll make the others off camera. Now to hold the gumnut blossoms, I've got some little stems. Now I've got 2 of them to hold the 2 bunches on. Now I've got my 254, the moon rock, and I leave a longer tail to attach it to the branch, and we start with 10 chain, We miss the first chain and work one single crochet in each of the next 3 chain. And then slip stitch into the following chain and then work 5 chain. Miss the first chain and work one single crochet in each of the next 4 chain. And then work 4 chain. We miss the first chain and work one single crochet in each of the next 3 chain. And then just slip stitch down in the original chain and fasten off. And we'll just stitch our flowers to these so it won't be seen behind the blossoms. So I'll work another one of these off camera. Now for the wattle, I made 25 of them. I'll just make 2 on camera. I've got my 208, the yellow gold, and I leave a bit of a tail on each just to stitch them to the stems, and we start with a magic loop and work 1 chain, work 1 single crochet into the circle and then slip stitch into the circle. We pull our circle tight and join with a slip stitch in the chain. And fasten off just with a normal tail. We weave the second tail in, but not the one at the beginning. And that's the wattle. So we leave a longer tail and make a magic loop. We start with 1 chain and work 1 single crochet into our circle. We slip stitch into our circle, pull the circle tight and join with a slip stitch in the chain. And fasten off. So I'll do the rest of those off camera. Now I made my leaves the same as I made the ones with the gum nuts. I've got 6 leaves on here. So I've got my 244, the spruce, and I'm going to leave a tail to attach it to the branch, and we start with 8 chain. We work 1 single crochet in the second chain from the hook, 1 half double crochet into the next chain, 1 half double crochet and 1 double crochet into the following chain. One single crochet in the next chain and then slip stitch into the following chain and fasten off. and I'll work another 5 leaves the same off camera. Now I've got some stems behind the wattle to stitch the wattle on. I've got 5 bunches of wattle. Now to make them I leave a tail at the beginning to stitch them to the branch, and I just do various lengths of chain between about 5 and 9 chain. So I'll need some with more chain for these longer ones, so I'll work a couple with 9. And fasten off, and I just weave in this last end. And I'll work another one with 9. And probably 2 stems with 6 chain and 1 stem with 7. So I'll work a stem with 6 and a stem with 7 off camera. Now that's all my pieces. I'll work the other pieces off camera and weave in the ends I need to, and I'll be back and we'll put them together. Here's the pieces for the possum on the branch. I've got a possum, I've got 6 gum nuts, a branch, 6 leaves, 6 gumnut blossoms and 2 stems. The first things I'll do is attach the blossoms to the stems, just 3 on each stem, just on the spokes there. And I'll attach the possum to the branch just by the feet down there. Next I attach a bunch of gumnut blossoms just in that corner there, and another one near the end there, and I'll attach 3 of the gum nuts at the top there and the other one in between the blossoms, so just in there. Now the last thing I do is attach these leaves. I'll put one just in the end there and one in between each of the bunches. I'll put 2 at the end there and one between the possum and the gum nuts. So I'll just attach these and I'll be back to show you the finished possum on a gum nut branch. There's a finished gum nut branch. The size is 15 centimetres wide by 11 centimetres or 5 3/4 inches wide by 4 1/4 inches. For the wattle branch I've got 6 leaves, the cockatiel on the branch, 5 stems and 25 wattles. The first thing I do is attach the wattle to the stems, just attach them with the tails. I'll attach 6 to the 2 longest stems, 5 to the second longest stems, and then 4 to each of the shortest stems. So I'll do that first. Next I'll attach the wattle bunches. One with 6 goes just in here under the branch on that side, and the other on the branch at the end there. The one with 5 wattle goes along there, and one with 4 just in under there, and the other one in there. So I'll stitch those on next. The last thing I do is attach these leaves. One goes each side of the wattle down the bottom, and one just up in there at the top, and one on the end there, one between these 2 wattle pieces, and one at the end there. So I'll attach that and I'll be back to show you the finished cockatiel on the branch. And there's the finished wattle branch. The size is 13 centimetres wide by 16 centimetres, or 5 inches wide by 6¼ inches. If you've liked my video, please like, subscribe and share. I'm also on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest and Twitter. The details are in the description below, along with the details of my website where I have my patterns, the details of my Facebook group and the details of my Patreon. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.